Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Mama Atheist, you can call me Amanda. I thought today we would talk about some of the low down dirty shit that religious people use to try to influence you to believe in their God or come to their church. And I'm sure that we've all been through that multiple times in our lives, especially after we came out as atheists. We've got loved ones, family members, friends that all, attempt to sway us to their side, don't understand that we don't believe like them, don't care to understand because it's so hard for them to fathom not believing in God. At least for me, that's what my mother always tells me. She says, I don't understand it. I just don't get that you don't believe in God. So, for me, my story was when I went to college. I went to college 3,000 miles from home. I came from a teeny little town in Connecticut with very few people. More chickens than people, actually. And I went to, for my undergrad, I went to the University of Arizona, which is huge. A very big school. There were probably more people in my dorm freshman year than there were in my entire high school. In fact, I know it because there was less than 500 people in my high school. So it was, like most people, when you first go to school, especially far away from home, it's kind of scary. You don't know anybody. You're just looking for someone to connect to, that you can talk to, and maybe someone older that can help guide you through this new and terrifying experience. And for me, it was this young woman that was a junior. 2 or 3 days after I had gotten there, I was sitting outside my dorm, and she came and sat down next to me, and started having a conversation, normal, like any other conversation you have with people you meet in college. Starts with, hey, what's your major? Everybody says that, whatever. I told her, she's like, oh, that's really cool. We talked about why I was into astrophysics, what had gotten me into it in the first place. She told me about her major. To be honest, I don't really remember what it was. It's a long time ago. But we talked for maybe half an hour, and she asked me at the end, she's like, you're really cool. I'd love to get you coffee sometime. I'm like, okay, sure. Gave her my number. She said she'd call me soon, and I was like, yeah, I made a friend, someone other than like my roommate. It was probably the third or fourth person I'd really actually talked to because we hadn't started classes yet. And I was still kind of like, this is a big campus, there's a lot of people here. I don't know what the fuck to do. So a few days later, it was the weekend, she called me up. I was like, hey, go down to the coffee shop, get you a coffee, we could talk, see how things are going. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. Met her there. We sat and talked for a while, just about where we were from and our history, our past, whatever. And then, out of nowhere, she was like, I see that you're really struggling to get into the swing of things here. I'm like, not really. I'm just, new and freaked out. It's fine. She's like, have you heard the good news about Jesus Christ? And I didn't want to be rude. Like, believe it or not, I'm actually a pretty nice person to most people, at least strangers, regardless of my Twitter personality, which is uber cunt, whatever. But yeah, I didn't want to be rude, but I was like, what the fuck? Really? So I said, I'm good. I went to church when I was younger. It's just not really my thing. And then she decided to spend the next 45 minutes telling me about how great her church was and how much she gets out of it and how much she loves the Lord. And I was like, I don't, I'll be polite and sit here and listen, but you're not like going to convince me to go to your church. It's just not going to happen. So she finished her spiel. I was like, that's cool, whatever. Thanks for the coffee. Gotta go. Bye. After that, though, she just like did not get the hint. She would call me twice a week for that entire semester and ask me to go get coffee, which I knew was code for let's go talk about God. And I would tell her no every time. Oh, I'm busy or whatever the fuck. I'm not interested. She's just stuck to it week after week after week. It wasn't until November. Um, she called, my father had a heart attack, and I had literally just gotten off the phone with my mom about it. And she called right after that. I was like, hey, Amanda, how you doing? You want to get some coffee? And I'm like, fuck you, bitch. I'm done. So, yeah, I did finally crack a little bit, but that was it's probably not the best way to handle it, but I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I was done. So that was my, uh, as far as I could think, that was my lowest experience in terms of how people tried to, you know, bring me into their church and bring me into their beliefs. I used to have a boyfriend once that I didn't realize was very devout when we started dating, and he would call me the whore of Babylon and shit like that. I wasn't really trying to get me to his religion. That was just him being an asshole. So, in terms of my son, I talked about last video, how my sister-in-law brought him to Bible camp after she knew that both of us were atheists, which was infuriating to me. I don't really like my sister-in-law. She's kind of a bitch. But this was like the nail in the coffin. Like, did you really just do that? And her kids are so indoctrinated. They honestly believe that Angel and I worship Satan because they don't understand what atheism is. They, you know, read from the Bible before bed every night, and it's a big part of their lives. And I mean, had that been their decision, that would have been fine, but it wasn't. This was something that was drilled into their heads since they were as little as possible. I mean, they've always gone to church, they've always read the scripture, they've always had God in their lives, and they've never had a chance to explore beliefs outside that sphere of influence. So, to me, you know, she doesn't get to judge. I let my kid decide and come to his beliefs on his own. But she does, so whatever. But since we moved to Georgia, he sometimes gets like flyers and stuff from different churches that are holding community programs and stuff around. Everything here is run by church programs and by churches themselves. The churches literally just own this town. I have 4 churches within a quarter-mile radius of myself. Most of them are Baptist. I know there is at least one Catholic church in my town, because that's one my mother goes to, and my son's best friend, he goes to the Spanish Mass, though, because his family is Hispanic, and that's in the afternoon on Sundays. But luckily, you know, other than having some family members try to introduce my son to God and bring him to church or Bible camp or whatever, there hasn't been a ton of outside influence to him, especially since he started to, you know, come out as an atheist, because he just will, if anybody starts talking to him about their religion or whatever, he will either just completely shut down or walk away, because he's done. He doesn't want to hear it. I can't think of anything else that was too bad for him. Luckily, he hasn't had to deal with too much of it. He knows, you know, how big the sphere of influence is in terms of religion, especially here in the South. But luckily, he's kind of outside that bubble at this point, because he's old enough that they don't bother him anymore. Had we lived here like 5 years ago, I guarantee that his friends' moms would have been trying to bring him to church or something like that. I don't know. I'm glad that he doesn't have to deal with it as much. I'm glad that he doesn't have to go to church anymore like I did growing up. I was forced to go. It wasn't my choice. But there's just so much out there that is infuriating when they find out that you don't believe, or if you have a different belief than they do. It just is the way it is. Like I said, I would love to hear any stories that you guys have. You can tweet me or write it in the comments or whatever. I'm Mama Atheist on Twitter too. So But I guess that's it for today. Just wanted to share those stories, and subscribe if you want. And I will catch you guys later. Think critically. Bye.